Hi, everybody. Welcome to the QB School. I am JT O'Sullivan. Today, Trevor Lawrence, unbelievable comeback, fighting through significant first half adversity. Fired up for this one. Let's get it going. Welcome to the QB School. Before we dive into the video, quick reminder, the Quarterback School Patreon community. It has never been cheaper. There's never been more Quarterback School content available over there. So if you want even more Quarterback School content, you want to support the channel, hop over there, become a Quarterback School Patreon community member. I sincerely appreciate the support. The link is in the video description. As for this video, let's get into it. Trevor Lawrence, Dougie P, the Jaguars, awesome comeback. Fired up to dive into this one. It is ugly early. Interception off of RPO. Little slant fin on the backside here. This is a tough one for me. I'm going to put this on the right guard. Now, this can be a potential structure choice, meaning what are we telling the right guard blocking-wise? To me, I think he's in a tough spot, oversets a little, and is a little unlucky. The guy puts his hands up. You got to make him pay for putting his hands up. But this is hard to put this anywhere closer to Trevor Lawrence for me. So we're going to be running down here to the bottom of the screen. This is an RPO, second level RPO. So we are reading the backside inside linebacker right here, 49, the guy who gets the interception. If he goes this way, we're going to come back here and throw this little slant, or what I'm going to call a fin, as the number 2. So 1 to the slant, 2 to the short in. And now the choices here are a few different things. If we're going to run some element of pin and pull, where we've got guys vacating and we've got a bunch of one-on-one blocks at the line of scrimmage, what you tell these backside offensive linemen really matter. So it can be different vocabulary for different systems. Most places would call this a quick set base block, meaning essentially one-on-one. You've got to keep his hands down. Now it's easy or easier when you've got outside leverage, meaning that the D lineman is outside you, right? Inside. Well, this guard, right guard, he's got to do the same base block on essentially an inside shade. So he's got a tougher ass to come in here and set. And when he comes inside and kind of jump sets inside, he gets gapped through the B gap and we get a hand up. So again, we'll look at it from the backside, but that's really where this play breaks down for me. So it's, what are you telling that guard? You telling that guard to jump set? Okay, well, that's a tough ass when he's got to come down too. So again, how these things are structured really matters, because to me, this isn't like true wide zone. This is more pin and pulley. Watch all the linemen pulling to our right. So that's great. You're going to pull the left guard center, but look at the angles versus the right guard and the right tackle. So the right guard quick sets in. He's in a good position there, but 69 just gaps him. So that block is much tougher than the right tackle's block. See the right tackle? Just quick set. Got him. So, and then if they're going to put their hands up like this, right there, you got to make them pay. You got to blunt them in the ribs. And just a little unfortunate, bad things happen. Balls get tipped. And there it is. Next one here. This is a really nice sail to 17. Our guy Evan Ingram all over the place. Good and bad. Right here, good. Little sail up top. We're going to throw this thing right over the outstretched arms of 8, the flat defender up top. This is a beautiful touch throw. It really is. I love the touch. I love the base, the accuracy of this thing. Now, I will say I don't really love the read, and so we'll talk about it when we look at the wide. To me, we've got a chance for a touchdown here with a quarters beater post. But that ball right here, this touch, if you're going to make this throw, that is beautiful. Up on his face, outside the numbers, over the flat defender. But for me here, when we get to motion, this is really a quarters beater, meaning that if we're going to have some element of what looks like a quarter shell to me, so that shell right there to this formation gives me quarters beater. If we're going to come up here and go post, almost every system is going to have some sort of vocabulary to alert this, or say versus a pitcher look, we want the post, and the pitcher look is quarters, this. Okay, so when this is the case, and we're essentially going post, corner, some iteration of scissors, you're going to get your eyes right here. If this guy settles or doesn't get enough depth to get over the top of the post, we want the post thrown. So you be the judge. You read that top safety. Can we throw the post? See how flat-footed he is? Throw it. You got to throw that ball. And so again, at the top of the drop, you can pause it at the top right there, throw it. The safety is flat as opposed to the safety at the bottom. Look at the safety at the bottom. See the safety at the bottom getting depth? That's what you wouldn't want to throw it if that's what the look up top. But up top, that guy's flat-footed. He's looking probably from the 2 to the 3. And there it is. You got the post. Throw it. So it can be a good throw. You can all these elements of touch, accuracy, and it can be what I'm going to say without being in their quarterback room is not the right read. I want the touchdown. So tough. Next one here, 4th and 7, another interception. We got 7 stops, deep hook over the ball. For me here, a few different things. First of all, 4th and 7, I'm not that mad at interceptions, to be honest. I am a little concerned pass pro-wise here because it looks like the offensive line right here. See the offensive line pointing to 9? They're going to 9. The center is. So the 3 interior, we got 23 running free through the B gap. So how do we get there if this is a 7-person protection? So first, let's just talk what the concepts are. So to me, you see a lot of teams run variations of this. Corner stop, and then a deep hook over the ball. Okay, everybody gets a first down. Okay, I personally, okay, you put it in brackets, quarterback school does not love 7 stops versus man coverage. I don't like any of these routes versus man coverage. Why don't I like any of these routes versus man coverage? Because we're stopping our feet at all of them. And there's no runaway opportunities here. At the very best, you're thinking top of the route, he's going to come right back to the quarterback, which is tough. Okay, so that's the first part of the interception. The next part of this is they're trying to do like a little gimmicky quick snap here, which is fine. You can see these guys aren't lined up. But if you're going to be in what I think a lot of NFL teams do, this kind of like double wing, double chip. So you do this because they've got big time edge rushers. So you want to take the edge off and get out into the check down. Take the edge off and get out into the check down. Well, back in the day when you used to do this, you used to do it from the backfield. And if you did it from the backfield, then this 5-person protection really becomes 7. So again, if there's no way you can do 7-person protection from this kind of wing wide receiver stance. So essentially the offensive line is going to whoever they identify as the 4 bigs and where their point is. Okay, the middle of the linebacker type. Well, this 23, he blitzes. He runs free through the B gap. So if these 2 guys were in the backfield, then this could be a true 7-person protection where the offensive line is going to the 4 bigs and the Mike, and then we get the back going to the Will, and then we get the tight end type in the backfield going to the nickel Sam. So that's how you protect it. Not only do you give up eligibles down the field when you do this double chip, but you leave yourself open to stuff like this. You could maybe make the argument right here that the right tackle should set to the most dangerous of the 2, but he doesn't know that chip's going to get pushed that wide. You know, either way, we've got a +1 on our right tackle. So tough. And then at the top of this route at the 7 stop, again, why I don't like it versus man. Guy's right on top of him. That guy's a guesser. You know, maybe a little bit of illegal contact potentially, depending on what side of the ball you come from. Tough. So to me, we've got all sorts of issues there. We've got pass protection issues. We've got design potential issues. Don't love the routes versus this specific coverage. You know, if you're going to run 7 stops, I like having man beaters on the other side to give you a man option. That's a tough one. So 2 picks, 2 tough ones. Next one here, 3rd and 5, another interception. This one is off mesh. Okay, number 1 at the bottom, number 2 up top with a little corner over. Now, I really like this play. I think this is probably a bad read at multiple levels. Okay, so first of all, let's acknowledge, you know, Trevor Lawrence, we can't throw a shallow runaway type into a cloud flat defender corner. Ever. Okay? But Evan Ingram, you got to help us out here, bro. You can't be running through where you're supposed to settle. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about if we're going to run some iteration of mesh. Okay, so at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter who's who in the zoo here. At the bottom, it's the number 1. So he's coming across where the ball ends up going. Up top, it's the number 2. So there's the mesh. Okay, this is paired with what looks like a corner and an over. Okay, so I love this kind of unique distinction of mesh with over. From here, okay, really the whole play that ends up the issue here is the flat defender cloud corner rolled up and you're running a shallow at him. Well, if there's someone out there, you need to settle up. Okay? You need to settle up and noose, whatever the crazy cert guys call it. Okay? So you would have both these meshes are essentially glorified checkdowns. Okay? It's going to hurt some people's feelings, but it's true. So you settle up in zone right there. So for me here, I think the design here gives you a few different options. You potentially got this corner, if you see this cloud corner up top. You've potentially got this over, if you have enough time to buy it there. And then at the end of the day, this bottom shallow to 17, he's got to see that corner out there and settle up. I think he's got, you know, I don't watch every single Jaguar game, but to me, he's a super talented guy that potentially plays with blinders on and blinders down. And this is blinders down. So there's a dude right in front of your face. You can't keep running. If you're running, we talk about this on the channel a lot. If you're running and looking at the quarterback, you're basically saying, I'm going to stay on the run. You need to get over here, not look at the quarterback, settle down right there. Boom. So watch this thing play out. First, let's watch the mesh at the bottom, kind of in reverse order here. So right there, you got to settle. You got to see that corner out there, and you got to settle. Boom, right there. You throw it on the inside, you turn inside, you fall forward for a first down. Now, if you're the quarterback and you're Trevor Lawrence, you got to read that corner up top. Do you have the corner? Potentially, right? Like this is a large piece of space. If this is technically a corner, and it might be a flag, so he doesn't have it. But if this is a corner, let's throw this. If it's not a corner, let's wait for the over right here to get to this space. Or let's settle up right here. And if he doesn't settle up, he screws you. We got to get it to the check down who's drowning on the ground. So there's all bad, right? All bad. At the end of the day, Trevor Lawrence can't throw it. But we got to get some help from 17. He's got to be able to be on the same page. I mean, look at him. He doesn't look, he's still trying to figure out what the hell just happened. That's you, bro. You got to settle up. So again, from the back here, you know, we don't know exactly what he's looking at. Just tell you timing wise, you know, to me, he's playing that a tick fast. Watch how fast his eyes get to the mesh. So down the field, he's not even at the back of the drop yet, and he's at the mesh. Okay, and they run a lot of mesh. I mean, they're a meshy squad. Next one here, another interception, 3rd and 10, dagger, bottom of the screen. That's kind of the backside route. Again, Evan Ingram letting us down. Okay, this to me is why the difference between tight end, even crazy athletic tight ends, and NFL wide receivers. You can't do this at the top of the route, where to me, he's drifting at the top. So Trevor Lawrence is going to go left to right. Okay, maybe he could do it faster. I actually think he does a decent job of not drifting in the pocket here, which I think is one of his issues sometimes playing quarterback. So he stays in the middle of the pocket, left, no, right, yes. And that to me is the right read, the correct throw. It's a tight NFL window. What you can't do is what 17 does at the top of this route. Okay, so first of all, they are potentially, in my opinion, asking him to do too much. So if we're going to come up here and run essentially what is a clear, now he trips and falls a little bit, muddies the picture, but right here at the top of this in, okay, you've got to come at what I'm going to call an anti-interception angle. So you almost want to carve it back. It's not, these aren't like a whiteboard drawings where you come up here and you see a coach at a clinic like, totally flat. Okay, that's not how people run. What you can't do is what he does here to me, and that's drift up the field a little. And this is why usually wide receivers run this and not tight ends. I don't care how athletic you are. Get at the top of this thing and shave this thing just slightly back so that the corner cannot pick this. The corner should never be able to get this play. Watch the top of this route. See how he kind of drifts through it? So if he's cutting where? At the 36, we're drifting. You're going to drift a little, but at the top of that thing, you got to carve that down, not fall in. He's falling in almost like a crummy bang 8. That's a really tough route at the top. I just, to me, 17 is impacting these interceptions as much as anybody. Up top, you know, look at the read. He's working an out up top, nope, versus leverage. Down to the bottom, let it rip. Perfect. And again, if you're saying, God, that's covered because that free safety's there, the free safety's there is because the clear falls. See 13 fall, then he falls into it. Well, playing quarterback, you can't, you're trusting your guys to run through and do what they're supposed to do, not fall over their feet, muddy the pitcher. But 17's got to be able to get out of that break, or else we can't ask him to do that. And just looking from the outside in for this game, this first half, they're asking him to do too many things. He's dynamic when he gets the ball on his hands, but running, deep ins, maybe not his thing. Next one here, 3rd and 1, miss, mesh. The 2 number 2s are running the mesh. Again, for me, the throw certainly isn't where we want. I think, they run so much mesh that you're almost kind of shocked that they don't have these kind of fine details locked in. To me, this is just rail mesh. So the read here for the quarterback on most looks is going to be 1 right here to the back, and then kind of 2 to the mesh coming at you. Okay, and again, the angle here matters. The read matters. If it's man, you're running. If it's zone, usually you're going to settle up. Okay, but the other thing about this is the angle matters, because it looks like an easy throw, and it's not the hardest throw in the world. But if you're drifting at all, it's a hard throw. If you're changing your gait or like slowing down, it's a hard throw. You can't fool the quarterback. To me, of all of them, this is the one where it's a miss for Lawrence. But again, is that the easiest angle in the world to throw that? You see 13 kind of drift up the field. So as he kind of drifts there, that's just not how I prefer to do it. Now, I will say, if you get in college world, a lot of teams will run mesh where if he gets here and you've got all day, they can almost spike these things. I don't think he's doing that here. You don't really see that in the NFL because that takes forever. But that is a thing. For me, I would just want to see this come across and set it flat so that this is easier. Now, if it's flat, this ball's even more behind him. Okay, so I get that as well. But I just think it's kind of shocking to turn on the film, see how many times they run mesh and how many times they find a way to F this thing up a little bit. Because this should be a handoff first down, right? Like, this is a big miss. This is punt return right. Handoff, punt return. I mean, that's going to be a 20-yard chunk on 3rd and 1, and we can't hook it up. Again, watch Lawrence go right, no, mesh, yes. And again, just a tick behind him. And he has a couple tick behind him later that are caught for big plays. 4th and 2, mesh again. This time it's the 2 number 2s running the mesh. This time we're going to hit the deep hook. This is a beautiful 1-2-3 read. So 1 to Ingram, 2 to the mesh, 3 to the deep hook. This is a 4th and 2. Now, if you don't get this, you probably don't win the game. This is a first half play. So watch his eyes go left, rail, mesh, deep hook. Now, it helps when it's wide ass open over the middle of the ball, but it's a really nice job. Got to have it. We got to score before the first half to give ourselves a chance, any mojo going into this second half. This is a big time play from really a rough first half statistically. I think the film shows it's a little bit better than the stats. There's 1. Here's 2 with the mesh coming this way. It's usually going to be paired with this mesh for the rub, and then that deep hook over the ball where it ends up going wide ass open. So just read it right across the board. 1, 2, 3. Nice, clean, simple, easy read, but really nice job from Trevor Lawrence doing this right before half, considering what a rough first half it was, with 4 picks. From the back here, you can really see the 1-2-3 read. So 17 on the rail. No. Mesh. No. Up. Nice pocket presence. Getting up, finding the deep hook. Next one here. Touchdown. Number 2 up top. Ingram. Boop. A little what I'm going to call finning up. Short in and up. Snagging up. Whatever you want. This is a really nice job of beating what I'm going to call either red quarters, matchy, whatever you want to necessarily designate it. I really like this design for a few different reasons. So here's where the ball goes. Up, in, and up. And so really this is designed, in my opinion, to take advantage of what offensively I refer to as cone. There's a bunch of different ways to play this. I'm going to say this is some iteration of bracket, meaning these 3 have these 2 right here. So when he goes up and sets this to the corner, he's going to take these 2 out of here. So essentially then it's going to be a 1-on-1 for this short in versus this inside linebacker type who's got to cover this in. So you come down, and then you've essentially got him. Now, the other part of the design here, assuming that this guy's out of here, is that what do you do with the safety down here to the bottom, especially when he's a really good player? So we're going to come in here, threaten him with a vertical, run him with a corner, hoping that that allows him to settle his feet enough to not be able to come over here and make this play with the quarterback's eyes over here eventually. So again, you've got to kind of have the structure of this play to have the verticals at these safeties to run him out, and then you attack the middle of the three linebacker types up the pipe. So again, first let's watch the route by Ingram, the number 2 up top, up, in, gotcha. You can see what it does to the linebacker type right there. He comes down, got him. Now let's watch the safety at the bottom of the screen. He's got 11 running at him, so he's got to kind of stay there, but he can feel Lawrence's eyes up top. So he squeezes a little bit, but it's not close enough. And that's a beautiful ball, right? Right up on his face. Really nice job from Trevor Lawrence. In rhythm, base, accuracy. There's a lot to like. But there's a lot in that play for me. And again, NFL red zone, all of the above. You can see 3 though, right? The safety on the right, he's looking at Lawrence's eyes. He's drifting over there, but he's still got to respect 11 with that vertical. Got him. And that's a beautiful throw. Right over the top, touch, accuracy, right up on his face. Outstanding touch. Halftime, you dig the channel and you haven't already, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, get the notifications. It lets you know when we go live, when we put out new content. I really appreciate the support for the channel. It means a lot to me, so thank you for that. In addition, the Quarterback School Patreon community. Already talked about it. You know about it. Become a Quarterback School member. Support the channel. Get even more content. Never been cheaper. Never been easier. The link is in the video description. In addition, we've got Quarterback School courses. Really the premium content available through the channel on all of my favorite topics. RPOs, pass protections, how to beat every coverage, tempo. We even have an entire offense available. So hop over there. Check out all the Quarterback School courses. Finally, we've got a bunch of additional free resources available. We've got a play calling tool. We've got a Pass Pro Quiz. We even have a free course on the quick game. So if you're interested in any and all of those things, the links are in the video description. I appreciate the support. As for this video, let's get back to it. Next one, 3rd and 6. This is a dirty route at the bottom of the screen. Okay? Dirty versus outside leverage. I mean, murder. And again, you know, Asante Samuel Jr. obviously had a great first half. He struggled in the second half on a few different elements, but this is tough. I mean, this is just a ridiculously dirty route, setting this kind of back line in, and that's wide ass open in the NFL red zone. So again, check this route out at the top. He's essentially going to come up and make this thing look like he's going to run the back line. So up all the way to the back of the end zone, set this thing like he's going in, and when he spins out of it, Samuel Jr. here is going to guess and try to undercut this thing. He wants that next pick, and he's nowhere to be found when he comes out of it. So watch this route, because he really should never be there based on the leverage of the corner. Up, hit it in. Oh, man. Just that shoulders, eyes, in. Boop. Got him. Really nice job from Trevor Lawrence. Great call as well. 3rd and 6. This is a really nice job buying just enough time, because this doesn't happen quickly. Right, you got to buy time, good enough pass protection. No, see it, don't miss a layup. Outstanding, love it. Next one here, this is a big dagger up top. This is how you crush, poach, or tricks coverage, where that weak side safety is cheating to the number 3, and this is just wide ass open. Pretty rare to see the clear get hit on dagger, but this is a great job from Trevor Lawrence. They're going fast. This is tempo offense, putting a lot of stress on the defense, and this can happen. Wide ass open. So when I'm saying poach coverage beater, what am I talking about? I'm talking about usually in 3-by-1 formations. Here we go, 1-by-3 nub. Okay, so we got 3 eligibles over here. This safety, the weak side safety in the passing strength, what is he going to do? Well, depending on the coverage, there's a potential that he will cheat all the way over to this number 3, to this side. If that's the case, you can run something at him and threaten him, whether it's a deep hook, an over, whatever, and he will come down on that and engage that. And then essentially what is normally an easier 2-on-1 becomes a much more difficult 2-on-1 on that safety because now he's got to cover that whole field back here. So again, just imagine here running a post, and the only guy out there was this guy who was getting depth and getting away from you. That's essentially what happens with how they attack this guy right here. So you run the number 3 at him, it settles him down. He's essentially not part of that coverage over the top on the clear, and then we run right by him for a massive touchdown. So watch that safety at the bottom. See him. I mean, he's essentially just pedaling, eyeballing the number 3. We got this. That's a beautiful job. Great speed. Beautiful scheme. Nice job from Trevor Lawrence. Really impressive. I personally think that they could get to this in a hurry-up situation. Kind of a no-huddly. Call out at the line of scrimmage. A lot of stress on the defense. Love it. Next one here. Beautiful corner to the number 2 at the bottom. Again, probably shouldn't have this. Versus what I'm going to call, some iteration of Stumpy. Make up my own language here. But you get that nickel with outside leverage. You really shouldn't have it. There's only so much, a defensive play caller can do here. Again, how this thing works leverage-wise here. This nickel is outside leverage of the number 2. Again, I'm going to say this is some iteration of these 3 over these 2. When outside leverage here, and you come up and run an outbreaking route, you shouldn't have it on the defensive whiteboard. Now, you still got to go out there and cover it. And there's a lot of ways you can get here and teach this. But right here, this is just a great job getting up, winning on the corner. Trevor Lawrence trusting it. Hit it. Nice job at the top. Good accurate throw, front pylon. And this thing, we're right back in it. Just that simple. Nice base. Give his guy a shot. Big touchdown. Then the 2-point right after this. Okay, we're going to talk about a few different things here. I'm going to guess that Trevor Lawrence has talked about this play since then and probably said that he just did this himself. I'm assuming it wasn't part of the play, which is how the offensive line is blocking this. This is not an easy look to do this. They're in bear. That middle linebacker's got enough depth, and he's, got some giraffe tendencies to be able to just reach over and hit that. But if this wasn't there, okay, so again, what I'm going to call bear is essentially the middle 3 covered up. So the 3 interior offensive linemen, the guards in the center, covered up. If this guy is back here and you're on the 1-yard line, and you're a monster of a dude, catch it and just reach out and hit it. If he didn't do this, what would this play have been? It looks like it would have been essentially this kind of dart screen up top. So you're going to come out here and block the most dangerous 2 and then try to hit this screen that everybody runs in the league. The reason I say that is because of what these offensive linemen are doing. It looks like they're just cutting, like jump cutting here. So it can't be any sort of run. It can't be anything quick. Maybe, you have another one-on-one beater down here to the bottom. The other thing I want to mention, put it out there right now, I want to see in the playoffs called, because I know, there's some coaches on the low that are probably watching this. I want to see this screen that everybody runs down here in the tight red with this kind of quick dart screen, some sort of fake off of it. So come up here, bluff into the seam, bluff into the corner. And then really, I want to see this kind of fake screen be like a little return route. So you fake this thing in and then come back out. So you get 3 good options, all off kind of a bluff screen. So come up, pump it. You've got the seam happening first, the corner happening second, and then this kind of return back out. Or maybe you could even turn it into like an option choice right here. Somebody, you're welcome. Touchdown. One more time, letting it play here. Up and over, easy. I mean, that's a great play from Trevor Lawrence. He's in his bag right here. A little bit of hero ball, works perfectly. The mascot loves it. Big time play. Massive 2 points. Gives them a chance to win it with a field goal. Right here, this is a really nice out to the bottom slot. So beautiful touch. Love the accuracy. There's a lot to like. The reason it's really on here, though, is because I personally think Trevor Lawrence, and he gets himself in trouble, maybe not this game as much, but to me, he's a drifter. So in the pocket, he unnecessarily drifts. So when I'm looking at his drop, and it's really evident on the hash, so the ball's on the inside of the hash, stay there. Don't bring yourself to trouble. He's essentially over the guard here. Now the right tackle does a nice job right there of being able to not get significant pressure into his lap. But Trevor Lawrence drifts sometimes, Right here, it doesn't matter. It works out. But it's something to pay attention to when you think, man, it feels like he's got a lot of pressure at his feet, like he's unnecessarily, in issues all the time. To me, it's because he's not staying in the center of the pocket. But that doesn't take anything away from the throw, the touch. He throws some great touch balls that are accurate with great ball control outside the numbers in this game. He really does. And we can acknowledge that he moves in the pocket unnecessarily. 3rd and 1 here. 100 seconds left in the game. This is a tough one. They go mesh again. Meshy, the 2 number 2s. To me, this is another example of 13 kind of screwing us. I want to see this route flat, not drifting. Now, again, is it a perfect throw? I don't know. Only they can tell you, did he miss him? He probably missed him a little. But for me, this mesh, okay, so we're coming across with the 2 inside guys coming across. Once we cross, this to me needs to be flat. It's really hard to go through the mesh and then drift and then kind of come into like no man's land. Because when you come back, so say you're looking rail 1 to this mesh 2, when you go to throw this thing, you can't move after we're throwing it. So I just, it's kind of unsettling, a little fortunate that they get through this thing, obviously, but that to me is a thing you take care of in minicamp. Watch 13. Just stay on that angle right there, right down the 39. Don't drift. And you're also just drifting to trouble. So to throw it on 3rd and 1, miss it on essentially your play, some iteration of mesh, it's just it's shocking that there's such a lack of detail in this specific concept. But then we come back to probably one of my favorite calls of the year. Nothing like a little full tee. Everybody down, kick off the edge. Great job staying in bounds as well. And this thing is essentially now a chip shot. This is just an unbelievable call, beautiful call. It's not even blocked correctly. I'm going to say the middle, the fullback type, 89, that's probably not what he's designed to do. But great job staying in bounds here at the end. I mean, this play is just beautiful. It looks like quarterback sneak, right? Everybody's thinking some iteration of we're going to just rugby scrum, push this thing. But there's a few layers here. So the offensive line essentially is gapped out up front. Everyone is going down. So down, 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 down. We're coming off the edge. It looks like trying to kick out. And then I'm going to guess the middle fullback type here is supposed to come inside and just clean up whatever's there. Essentially like be the guard on power. Now the other element here is that this wide receiver is coming down and it looks like he's almost like cracking, or decides if he's blocking MDM, he's deciding this safety type is the MDM, most dangerous man. If I was coaching defense, I would say this is a block in the back. I would say you also have to come up here and kind of give up your back, like turn inwards so that you can't get blocked in the back right here. But then again, it's a really tough ask to ask a corner to play man-on-man an NFL wide receiver. This looks like a shallow, looks like a route, so he's got to cover him. Then he's got to stop his momentum going this way, come out, and try to make essentially a TFL to not have this thing be a first down. So all sorts of issues. I don't even think the corner can see it either. But man, beautiful call. And that's some nice speed on the edge. Outstanding. Again, how this thing is drawn up, it's a really nice read to be able to bounce this thing. But watch the middle fullback type. See him essentially block 84 in the back. So one of these guys has to set the edge on the defense. We either need the edge set here or we need the edge set here. I don't think we can ask the corner to do it. So when we go here to try to kick this thing out, he does a decent job of kind of stopping it, but he falls down. It's too easy. To me here, this guy probably needs to come right off this down block. So we're down, we're down, we're down, we're down. Okay, I'm not sure what we're doing here. But this block right here by the middle fullback type, to me, needs to be inside, right off this down block, and inside this kick out up to 49, because no one's blocking 49. This is probably where the ball's intended to go, as far as right there. So just being able to trust the vision from the back to be able to bounce this thing, because it's not blocked perfectly, right? Like run through common color, right off the right tackle. Boom! It's going to be a collision with 49 because 89 can't get up on him. Now the hell with that. We'll bounce it. Punt return right. Outstanding. What a call. Beautiful. So that is a wrap. Trevor Lawrence, the Jaguars, wild card weekend, Dougie P, unbelievable comeback. Really kind of special on so many different levels. I personally love just seeing Trevor Lawrence fight through significant adversity. I think when you turn on the film and you start to peel back kind of the design, the decision-making, some of the supporting cast around him, I think it's hard to put a lot of those interceptions on him. There are certainly elements of it that certainly will fall on the quarterback, but I think holistically, he played better probably than the first half stats show. But man, to be able to come back and really have that comeback, the way that he did it, it was big plays. It was kind of playing a little bit of hero ball on the 2-point conversion. It was being really accurate outside the numbers. It was making good decisions. It was fighting and clawing back and taking advantage of some penalties potentially going your way. It takes all of those things to make those comebacks happen. But my goodness, what an unbelievable comeback win. Fired up to see Trevor Lawrence kind of fight through some significant adversity that I think a lot of people, maybe myself included, have kind of stamped on him as maybe not his strength up until this point, whether that's because he's never had to or, well, because I've never seen it. But I think to be able to fight through that kind of first half, give yourself a chance to win, and not really a chance to win at the end, really be the reason that your team comes back and has that opportunity at the back. You couple that with some awesome design. Okay, there were some really great plays, not just that final run on 4th and 1, but some really great schemed things that I thought the Jaguars did to take advantage of some coverage elements that the Chargers were showing and maybe showing too much of over the course of that second half. So all over the place, great ball, great scheme, outstanding execution down the second half. Fired up to do that video. Hopefully you really enjoyed it. I had a blast doing it. Thank you so much for hanging to the end. I will see you next time. Have a good one.